Hello, everyone. Welcome back to When Shooting's Life podcast. Tonight, I have Adam Thene as my co-host and Charlie Owen. The topic for this episode will be about AT3 Tactical, and Charlie will be the main guy who answer the question that we came up with. How's it going, guys?
Good, good. Long time listener, first time caller. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, so Charlie, can you give us an intro about AT3? What is it? How did it get started, and why?
Yeah, so AT3 Tactical, essentially we're e-commerce website. We specialize in AR-15 parts and accessories. We got stuff for Glocks, like go fast parts, aftermarket triggers, that kind of stuff for Glocks, 365s, kind of your common guns. We're gonna be expanding more as the year progresses. Probably AKs, MP5s. We're gonna be getting some chassis, and aftermarket parts there. Uh, it started about, gosh, 12 years ago now. We've had 12 years. A guy named Zach Plansky started it kind of out of his basement, kind of did it as a side gig, turned into something that he couldn't work at his regular job anymore, started doing that, started needing more help along the way. And then I've known Zach for about 6 years. I came in there, it was late 2023. It was actually right before Black Friday 2023 that I started there. And after a couple of job moves, Zach and I kind of always loosely in contact, and then offered me to come take over the marketing and e-commerce side of AT3 and hopped on that boat and been happy that I did so far. Kind of one of the things that we're working towards right now is just stocking more and more SKUs. One of the things that we're pretty good at, I like to think, is just getting stuff out quick after orders are placed. I would say 99.9% of our orders ship same day. We stock about 6,000 SKUs, and in our warehouse in Minnesota, we stock about 95% of what we actually sell. There's a couple of things like rifle bags. I'll be honest, it is so much cheaper to drop ship those than for us to ship them. So we offer them, but it's just not our bread and butter. But yeah, so we're kind of up in northwest metro of Minnesota, St. Michael. Yeah, and yeah, we stock a lot of Cerakote parts too. So FDE, ODG, burnt bronze. If you want pink, blue, red, we got a ton of parts, AR parts that are Cerakoted, ready to ship.
So is AT3, so let's just say that if I want to buy something from AT3, right? Can I just come in and buy some, or do I have to order online?
I would let you come in or
Okay.
Adam. But no, so we encourage to buy online. Honestly, we don't have a storefront. Our warehouse is not that pretty.
Okay.
Adam will attest to that.
I
And
found this pretty pretty.
we just what we're really set up for is just shipping orders quick. So like literally if you're in Minnesota, if you order today, well, if you order before 1 p.m., you'll get it the next day, more than likely. And we all know UPS, USPS, and FedEx how they can be. So either you'll get it next day or the shipping gods will essentially just take a week then and send it around in three circles, go to Hawaii and back.
Okay. So how's it like working in the industry?
Good. It's actually pretty fun. I I kind of went into it like, oh, I'm gonna be at the range once a week, as I'm sure everyone does. Dude, I haven't been to the range in 2 months. My video team's going every other week, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get out with them. Nope, doesn't happen. But it's fun. So I have an e-commerce background, marketing e-commerce background, sold saltwater fish tank equipment for 12 years online. And so like the e-commerce side of it's been more of a natural movement. The firearm side, the biggest problem there, especially in the AR-15 world, is just learning all the products. Like you guys come in and I mean you guys are gun guys. Um, out of your friends group, you probably know the most out of anyone. You come in, go talk to our operations guys. They know every Magpul part number. They know the Lancer part numbers. They know everything by part number back there. And they know everything we have. Like, eh, uh, we were at a convention a month ago or so and talking to the company, and like, oh, yeah, do you carry us? I'm like, no, I don't think so quite yet. I look at our website, like, shit, we do. So I'm still learning everything we carry.
Which range do you guys have like a range at your facility, or do you guys use a specific range to go test out you guys gears and stuff?
No, we don't have a range. That's on the shiny stuff wish list. Well, I shouldn't say shiny stuff. That's on the wish list. We've talked about purchasing some property, essentially something that we can have a house on or like building on where the content guys could work at, go out for the day and work there. It hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it does in the future, but right now we're using Scapsa. There's kind of a mix of ranges that we'll go to. Scapsa is obviously kind of the easy one. Like I've up in St. Cloud, and you guys know Scapsa.
Hmm.
I mean, years ago I was the stats director there. Um, like I built the website for there, so like I've always been around Scapsa. It holds a special place in my heart. But when David Sweeter gave up the president role last year, Chris took it over, stayed in communication with him, and one of my goals is that they want us there because that we do so much for them that they want us to keep doing that. But essentially, we just kind of have a standing every other week deal with them that if my guys need to go, they'll go up there, but it's every other Wednesday. So,
All right. So the next question that we have for you is what is the main goal for AT3 Tactical?
so it really core values are like essentially what we're ingrained in. But number one is just take care of the customer, customers first. Um, so really my stance from marketing, e-commerce, and kind of what was instilled in me in my past is it you take care of that post-purchase support first. It's very easy to focus on make the money come in, but my main thing is if anyone ever has an issue, we will get you taken care of. I all of our AT3 stuff, Stinger stuff, lifetime warranties on them. But the if it's you buy a Magpul stock and you know what, you got to warranty it. You're having trouble getting a hold of Magpul, which I've never heard of that one. Magpul actually does decently. But if you're having trouble with something, it, give us a call. We'll help you out to the best of our ability. At the end of the day, we want to help people as much as we can, and then also just to help people learn how to be better builders of guns. Essentially, for my video team, one of my goals there is that you don't know that we sell stuff until you watch 10 videos from us. That, we can talk about parts, but we aren't trying to sell you anything. What we're trying to sell you is knowledge and value of if you want to build a PCC, where should you put your money? Should he put it into triggers? Should he put it into optics? Should he put it into the safety, the mag release, the lower, the upper, the barrel? Like what matters? If you got $1,000 budget or a $5,000 budget, everyone has value determinations that they need to make along the way. Or else you end up with a $10,000 gun that doesn't run because you just got the most expensive of everything. Um, ARs are kind of nice because they are like Legos. I mean, you take parts from every manufacturer, and 99% of the time it's going to run. Um, like the only issues you might have are gas issues, and you throw an adjustable gas block on those things these days, and it, your AR is going to run. Now you can always tune it, make it better, that kind of stuff, and add more accessories. But so that's kind of the main goal is just helping people build better guns, having the parts that you guys need, and just taking care of customers. That you know what, if you call us and you need help, you're going to talk to a guy that actually carries a gun every day on his hip. You aren't going to get Martha that's there for a job.
So, what is something about AT3 Tactical that most people wouldn't expect?
Oh gosh. Um, I know you sent these out early and I totally this is the one that's like, what could it be? What could it be?
That's the one.
Um it's probably the size. We're pretty compact. Uh we like I said, we stock about 6,000 SKUs in our warehouse. Um and they're in there pretty tight, but at the same time, I've been in warehouses where it takes 15 minutes from to walk from one side to the other, and that just takes time. Like at the point we're at, we aren't near automating order picking or anything like that. But I think that's probably just like what we make do with our size. Um, like our studio is bigger than our studio is probably half of our office size.
Mm. All right. So, this is just one of my question that I just thought of right now. What is like what are the best selling item that which item that you guys have that you guys sold the most?
So, our top selling product by volume, it's our foo bags. Essentially, it's a lost parts kit for ARs.
Mm,
Go figure. People lose a lot of detents along the way. And it's funny because I don't know if you guys have ever built ARs before, but those detent springs, oh man, if they end up in your carpet, you're in your garage, they
Oh, dude.
they're gone. Like if you ever build an AR, go get extra detent springs and extra detents. Have in like Real Avid has their pivot tool. That is worth the money. I use it. I'm lazy. Like I can do the razor blade method or the cotter pin. I use the Real Avid tool. It just makes life easier.
Man, those D10s are the worst thing in the world. I've
Yep.
lost like probably at least five.
I I I've had buffer retaining pins just go up and hit the ceiling
Oh yeah.
before. Like ARs are spring traps all over the place. Like not many guns have
Oh
that
yeah.
many springs that'll just go flying. Like usually they'll have one or two that you got to keep your eye on, but ARs, oh man, yeah,
It's dude, it's one of those things where it's like I've had a few that I've built where it's like, all right, man, all the parts showed up. I'm here. I can go shoot tomorrow. I can, dude, I'm gonna go sight this in tomorrow. And that one, that one detent, that one little thing, it's like, nope, dude, you're not shooting this thing till at least
I,
Thursday next week now. Like,
I've used pieces of baling wire before as detents because I didn't have any. Hot tip, a Bic lighter, there's the springs inside you can use as detent springs.
oh no shit.
Um, Yeah, it's not like some that you'd want to go to battle with, but at the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time, if you're going to the range, like what is the detent doing? Holding your takedown pin in
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah.
Big deal. So, yeah, see, sometimes you got to get a little creative to get out shooting tomorrow.
yeah, that's one thing that I hate about taking apart guns is just little springs and stuff. So what I usually do, like whether it's a rifle or a handgun, if it has like little plastic piece or little springs, I would actually grab an Amazon box and then put it in there and then fix it. So just in case if the spring flies off, it will just hit the top of the box and then
I
yeah, not somewhere else.
I have a tote in my garage, actually. Well, it might be down in my shed, but it's got handholds in it. Clear tote, all four sides. And guns that are new to me, if I'm taking them apart, usually I'll do them kind of in that tote because I can still see through. But if anything goes flying, it's usually staying in that tote. So that those are usually what when guns are foreign to me. Like I don't know, 1911s, they don't really got any spring traps. CZs, like the trigger spring can go flying,
Yep.
but if you use a slave pin, like CZs are those are the ones I know the best. Like back in my USPSA time, like I that's almost what I liked more was like the tuning of the guns. Like how nice can you make that trigger? I mean my Shadow 2, it's a little heavy right now because I got the heavier hammer spring in it, but it's still a 2 3/4 single action, like a 6 pound double on it. Like it's light. But yeah, you drop in that lower it's like a 9 pound hammer spring. and the thing's like just about 2 pounds on the single, but it's a nice trigger. But that's what I like. I like playing with stuff. That's actually kind of what I like about the job more than like doing e-commerce or that stuff, is just like the tinkering, figuring it out. And I'm kind of a product whore, a gear whore in a way. That like, hey, if there's a new safety, I want to get my hands on it. I want to look at it. What is the fit and finish like? Uh, ARs, almost everything fits. If it doesn't, that manufacturer's got a bigger problem. Um, but like ARs, Glocks, you buy some, it should fit. If it doesn't, great. But you really kind of look at the parts and like, okay, how nice is their anodizing on it? Because there's good black anodizing that like you sandblast that stuff and it does not want to come off. Uh, and that's usually the Type 3 hard coat. But then the cheaper anodizing, you touch that with a sandblaster, it comes off real easy. It's like spray paint. Um, and so that's one of those things that like kind of drives pricing. Like all of our anodized black parts, they're Type 3 hard coat. I hate sandblasting our products, getting them ready for Cerakote because the anodizing's so hard. And thankfully with Cerakote, you just need to profile the anodizing. But every now and then you'll get a part that like you might as well just strip all the anodizing off because it's just coming right off. So,
Right on. Well, I think I got this next question for you. Um, One thing you guys are kind of known for, no offense, is more budget optics.
mhm.
Why are AT3 optics so much cheaper in cost compared to mainstream manufacturers?
You know, really less overhead. That's a lot of it. I'll be honest. I I don't want to give out too many dirty secrets. Like we have really good relations with our manufacturers. No surprise, our optics are made over in China.
Yeah,
It like
everybody does too.
yeah, and you get into like EOTech, I believe Aimpoint, those are US made optics. Like you're gonna pay more. Lead and steel, they have a good US made optic. Um, and really we we've been looking at doing US manufacturing, but in all honesty, to do it, t red dots are going to be $500 bare minimum. Um, like really, there's not a whole lot of options for optics out there. A lot of it is volume, and that's going to drive cost. But then also, how much money do you need to make as a company? Um, like, do you have, are you paying $1 million a year to rent your facility, or are you paying a lot less? How many
Yeah,
employees do you have? Stuff like that. But also, it's marketing money too, sponsorship money. Like, it, it, not, trust me, I got Vortex Optics. I love my Vortexes. We sell them. That was actually one of the companies I made sure that we brought in was Vortex. But like, they have a lot more overhead than we do. They go through a lot more volume than we do. But at the same time, they also have a lot bigger marketing budget. So you're going to see them all over the place. But Vortex, I was talking to our rep there not long ago, and it's like they've turned into like a lifestyle brand almost. Like
yeah, oh for sure.
like shirts.
Like you can't walk into Shields without like five those like center kiosk
It's
things full of,
it's
you know,
awesome seeing what they've came from. Like right when they started getting into red dots and people in competition were using them and they'd break them. I mean, red dots still break. They're electronic, so it's not if, it's when they're gonna break. But it's awesome to see how Vortex has changed over the years. Well, part of that also comes with they need to make more money to sustain all that. But essentially, like, I wouldn't call our optics super budget. Like, honestly, I have one on my carry gun. I use it all the time. Um, but I also know how optics are made for the most part, and like what is it that you get picky about with your manufacturers, because that's what's going to drive up cost, is when you get really picky about little things. refresh rate of dots. And you guys are competition shooters. You guys are watching that dot move around. Ideally, you're watching your target, and when the dot comes, you shoot. But
Mm.
you still see it in some. Hollow Sun's really good at it, actually. I feel like they have there's two different ways to essentially adjust brightness on optics. And one of the ways, essentially, there's a true refresh rate to it, where the other way is just like lowering the power, essentially. And to get a higher refresh rate is gets more expensive. And the average shooter is not going to care. So we kind of tailor more towards the average shooter, person that's going to the range. Like if I was going to war tomorrow, would I be grabbing an ACOG or our Alpha? I'd be grabbing an ACOG. But at the same time, going to the range, like you can go on YouTube, like we've had torture tests done on our optics, stuff like that, and they're gonna stand up. Like really, if you have a problem with it, 98% of the time, people's problems with our optics is their battery cover's not tight. That's
Mm.
it 98% of the time. Um, but it doesn't happen often, but we have a lifetime warranty for a reason. We stand behind everything. Um, so yeah, it in a long-winded answer, they aren't that much cheaper. We just price them kind of to where we want it, where we would want them to be.
Well, I mean, and then, too, it's like that's kind of a good point is it's like what are you better off with? Are you better off with the cheapest American made optic that you can possibly get and buy? Or, let's say maybe you can get a better quality optic, somewhere else, for
Hmm.
cheaper. And it's kind of like, I mean, at that point, it's just like, are you good with
Well,
the.
especially with from the competitive side, like, okay, you got a budget. I know when I started shooting, I like buying ammo was not easy. I was on a tight budget. My job didn't pay me a ton of money. I mean, I was answering phones for dirt cheap. And like if it was $400 for an optic or $150 optic and ammo, I would be so much better off that $150 optic and getting spend the rest of that money in ammo. Go to
Oh,
matches like I mean between dry fire and just like range time is where you learn some of the most stuff. I mean going to matches is the fun part. Um but I mean if you can go to the range with an extra 50 rounds every time, I'd much rather take that one personally.
yeah. I mean, if it works, and it's like I know even like on my competition guns, I got Holosun optics on those, and it's like I know there was a big thing in the market where it's like, oh, don't support, let's say Holosun comes from China, this and that. It's
Albosan,
yeah, it's like, well, dude, I'm like, one, it works, they work, it's reliable, and two, the iPhone that you're typing this comment on is also made in China, which also supports their You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, I, whatever, man.
it
Like,
in so part of this is China, but like uh Zach, the owner, he went to China, I think it was March time that he went this year, and like literally there's vortex stuff there. Like
oh,
it like a lot of these owners that make optics, they all know each other over there. They're all sharing secrets. Kind of one of the best things is when you go to big conventions and the optic manufacturers you talk to, they pull out an optic. They're like, "Oh yeah, we make this," and it's got everything. It looks like say like a Sig Romeo. Looks identical to it. And then you go to the next booth. They make that same one too, they say. And so like they're all claiming that they all make their own that they make stuff, but there's ways to figure out uh who's importing from where, who the actual manufacturer is, and uh essentially if you go look at the big boys in towns, Sig, Vortex, I mean those are kind of the big ones outside of Hollow Sun that aren't directly that are importing from China. you can figure out who they're using, and we actually use the same ones. Like this our Aero Mini. It's a little RMSC dot. Uh, it's got shake awake, so I mean for carry gun, bedside gun. One of the things that I've always had like interesting debates on is like with red dots as like a bedside gun. If that thing's got a 6 hour shut off, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
that's like carrying without a bullet in the chamber. No offense to those that do.
Nah,
If you got a,
dude, that's you ain't supposed to. That's
I
I
mean,
just
if
yeah
you got a 320, I don't blame you. But
yeah right right.
that ended. But it's kind of one of those like I want my dot to be on if I'm going to use it. Like competition, totally different story. You turn it on at the beginning of the day, you're going to adjust brightness throughout the day and reset that timer. Like it's not common for your dot to turn off in a day of competition. But from a PDW standpoint, like shake awake's super important to me. There is the fight that, yeah, in your car, if you're driving with it, it's gonna be on. If you're walking with it, it's gonna be on. So really it's gonna be on a majority of the day. Well, guess what? They say change out your fire alarm batteries once a year. Do the same thing with your red dots.
Oh, dude,
Um,
I personally like that's what I do. I mean, I literally I carry the only dot I shut off is on my competition guns. Like
mhm,
my carry gun, like I don't use a shake. I mean, I uh the feature is really nice. I just keep it on at pretty much the same brightness, so it's bright enough to see during the day. It's bright enough if I have, if I turn a light on at night, it doesn't wash out with the light, and it's like just change the battery once a year, like it,
yep.
whatever.
Well, the other thing that's actually like probably one of the hardest things with red dots right now is auto brightness. Um,
Yeah, man.
like
Mhm.
where is the sensor? If you have an auto brightness dot, one of the things is like if you're shooting outdoors, but you got like a lean-to roof over you,
Yep.
the dot is sensing that dimmer light because you're under the lean-to, but out at the target where it's super bright, you might have a white piece of paper out there with the target on it. You can barely see the dot. And the other thing too, so that has a challenge where some companies will do forward facing sensors, so it's actually looking out, which helps, but it doesn't solve it 100%. Um, the other thing with auto brightness too is that low light. Like that's where we've struggled the most with like getting samples. Nope, this isn't right. Send it back. Well, yeah, have them make another, send it over. Well, it's got to come from China to check it. Um, and so that's where a lot of the time goes in manufacturing is just like those subtle little changes. But that's probably the biggest thing that if you're out buying a dot for personal defense, concealed carry, is check it in low light. I mean, take your hand, go like this, and like put it under a desk, see how dim it gets for it. Like literally go into a low light setting because that's where a lot of dots struggle is that auto brightness and the low light.
Yeah, and that the auto brightness thing too. It's like I'm not the feature. I like the idea of it, but the little bit that I've used it on any of the optics I have is, like it seems to be they lag a little bit.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, like if you're bringing your gun up and you're target focus, you're staring at the target. I'm not staring at the dot, but I notice like
Yep.
I notice that change and it brings my eyes and then I actually focus on the dot instead of the target. It just kind of like catches my eye as it dims down or brightens or whatever it does.
Yep.
So that's the only thing I mean. And then too, it's like I think it's kind of personal preference too on like what's the actual setting or like for the auto dimness. Like it's like
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean. It's a perception thing for sure.
Yep. And usually like in a defense style, like you'd rather err on brighter than dimmer. Because the last
Mhm.
thing you want is to not see your dot. If it gets too bright, it's just gonna blow out.
Yeah.
But also like I think red dots have diagnosed more people with astigmatism than any doctor ever has.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure.
because it's funny because yeah, you look through with your cell phone, the dot's clear as can be. You look through with your eye and it's blurry. Well, how do you solve that? Well, you make your dot dimmer. Well,
Yeah.
making it dimmer makes it harder to see, but it's not blown out around the edges. So your 2 MOA dot now looks like a 6 MOA dot because it's so blurry. I got a buddy that he legit sees like trails coming off of it that go like halfway out to the edges. So, but he's a special guy, so yeah, that would happen to him.
Artistic.
Yes. Yeah, he's got autism of some type. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
yeah, yeah.
He's been one of my best friends since high school.
So, Charlie, I
Um,
got a question about the dot. So, do you know if it's possible to build to make a red dot that has multiple MOA instead of just one MOA?
Yes. Essentially it would be a multi-reticle at that
Okay.
point. But the way that the dots, the way that it's been described to me, the way that the dots are made, and this is where they're never, ever, ever gonna be perfect. And this is where you can spend a lot more money on a dot, is it's essentially a little piece of foil with a dot poked through.
Mm,
And the size of that dot depends on or determines the size of the dot in your window. So now if they're doing like a multi or like a death donut, that foil has a ring and a dot, and the LED is actually coming through
mm,
that to, and that's where sometimes with some dots you might see like it's a little bottom heavy, it's a little top heavy, it's a little oblong. Like, I mean, was it a Friday they were poking those dots? So that's the way it's been described to me. But essentially, yes, you could. Um, the technology side of it, I don't know how that works exactly. But yeah, they just need to get multiple pieces in there of it. And I think they can layer them too. So like your death donut's just the donut, and then you have the dot's another layer on it. But
that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of I would love to know how that sausage is made sometimes. Just like go spend a week over in China and watch how they do it. But at the same time, I don't want to go to China.
fuck that.
So, the next question is there anything new coming soon that you can talk about?
Yeah. Yeah. I wish some of it was sooner, but tariffs had like the whole tariff thing has put so many companies into what do we do? Don't know. And like literally we don't know what's going to be happening. They could go away, they could get more. Like how's our president feeling tomorrow? Uh so we were hoping to have some of this stuff a lot earlier, but we have our Ace coming, which is a larger window RMR red dot, kind of more up the competition side. It's not 507 comp big, but it's like your traditional RMR, kind of getting up there with the Defender XL.
Hmm.
The window's pretty close to the Defender XL, just without the thicker bezel
Hmm.
that the Defender XL has. So that one I'm excited for because that's when I want to get in your guys' hands when we get them.
Doing
Um,
for that.
right? Our product guy is like, how many do you need? I'm like, how many can I get?
Yeah.
So, um, but so that I'm super excited for that one. That one I've been pushing for since I got there. One of the things that I'll get into that later, but the other one that we have is a polymer RMSC red dot. So essentially, it's the same thing as our Aero Mini. So little RMSC footprint for, I mean, this micro dagger, um, for your kind of your 43Xs, 365s, but it's a polymer housing. Um, so yes, it's plastic, but really low dollar. Uh, I think it's gonna retail right around $100. And so like the nice thing there is when it's an ounces matter thing, like you want to wear it in the summer, you got gym shorts on, you don't want it sagging, like that's the dot for that. Like literally, it does not turn off, it's auto brightness all the time, shake awake all the time. Like it's literally just made for kind of conserving weight as much as possible. So that's a great one for the wife. or yeah, anywhere that weight might be an issue. Uh, the other one I'm actually really excited for is 6 months ago, we came out with suppressor ready handguards or Spear XLs. So if you want to tuck a can down in the handguard, um, most handguards inside diameters right around like the 1.3 inch mark. Most cans are going to be in like the 1.5 inch mark. So like you can't tuck it back in the barrel, or you can't get a short barrel, long handguard, get that tucked look. So we did the Spear XL. That sells really well for us actually. Apparently a lot of people are tucking their cans and doing suppressor builds, which is awesome. Because that usually means either it's going to be a pistol build or SBR build. And I'm excited for when stamps go to zero in SBR. Hopefully more people are building SBRs. I'll be even more excited if the ATF gets over or gets demolished. But so we have the Hawk XL, that's on the Stinger side. So we own a company called Stinger. Essentially, they mostly specialize in handguards with more of a aggressive design, if you will. So like up on the Nerf gun there's our Vulcan, and then I think I have a Raptor on the black gun here. Um, so just a little more aggressive design, a little something different than just M-lock slots down the side. But we have our Hawk XL, which it's our Hawk Stinger Hawk handguard, which has like a bird's mouth cutout on the front of it, aka a hawk's mouth, and but it's going to be a large ID. So you're going to get that kind of aggressive front end of the handguard with that cutout in it, but you can tuck a can down in there. So that one I'm excited for because I I don't think there's anything that aggressive out on the market for suppressor ready handguards. I think that's going to be cool. I'm excited to see some customer builds with those. So that's coming. Like all these should be before Black Friday. Like really, I think that the nanos are like they're on the way. I think stateside, like on a truck or on a train right now. The Ace I heard is about 30, 60 days out. Hawk XLs, they're about 60 days out. But then the next thing that Stinger has is uh we're getting day glow colors for our glasses. That's been a big feedback thing from you guys from competitive shooters that you guys want those day glow green colors, the oranges, the reds. So for our Stinger glasses, our shooting glasses, we're going to be offering them with day glow colors. Um, so yeah, it's not going to be all the models, but we're going to have a selection of them. We're going to have three different colors. I think it's like a red, a yellow, and an orange. Um, yeah, our Singer glasses are funks. It, they aren't the cheapest in the world. Usually you can find them on sale. We run a lot of sales. Or if you go to a match here in Minnesota, there's a good chance they're giving them away. But like these things, like you can literally and they pop right back. Like they're you can run them over with a truck, kind
Mm.
of do whatever you want with them. Gosh, I always forget the safety rating. They are Z87 plus rated, so they're actual legit safety glasses when you if you ask OSHA about it. Um, OSHA approves of these in a work setting. But we've shot these things with birdshot. Essentially, you get a bunch of dimples in the plastics, uh, but the lenses they don't shatter. Essentially, no piece of birdshot went through the lens. Once you step up to buckshot, it went right through it. One like you'll just get a piece of shot that goes right through it. But yeah, your face is gonna hurt anyways after that one, so not really too concerned. But for your traditional like range needs where you don't want a glass that shatters, you want it to deform. Um, yeah, we're gonna have day glow colors that do the same thing. And that's about it right now that I can talk about. We have a couple other things, but I'll be honest, we're probably gonna slow down in the manufacturing side of things a little bit. Um, and kind of just focus on being a good e-commerce retailer. Because that's what I know best. That's where I can shine the most. And I mean, from a company standpoint, like we've done great. the past few years. So we've been growing every year, at least that I've been there. But where the market's down, so it's nice to see that we aren't going the same direction as the market right now. But really, a lot of that's just coming down to we're just focusing on selling other people's products and getting them to you guys as fast as we can.
All right, so this might be a stupid question, but speaking of Stinger, is that like his own company or is that like AT3 made Stinger?
So we purchased Stinger Q3 2023.
Okay.
Like right when I started the month before they got Stinger in. And that was Zach knew the owner of Stinger. Stinger's been around for quite a while.
Hmm.
Um, and the owner wanted to get out. Zach said, if you get out, let me know. I want to buy your company. So AT3 bought it. So it's a separate entity, but from a warehouse side and operational side, you could pick a Stinger order, you could pick an AT3 order. You like you don't know the difference besides what's on the invoice. Like you can get all the Stinger stuff on AT3. Um, so one of the things we've noticed is Stinger does not do as much in sales, but some of that has transferred over to the AT3 side because they're buying it from us, and then they're also getting that Timney trigger, that Geisley trigger, Arma spec, uh, sound captured or that's the JP, the SCS JP. Arma spec has their SRS, which we sell a lot of both.
All
But
right.
yes,
Yeah,
so
yep, yep, go ahead.
Stingers from a marketing side, it that's where it's difficult because it's two separate entities. From an operational side, it's the same thing. I mean, it's picking an order, it's shipping an order. Uh, from a marketing side and a like e-commerce side, it's two separate websites. They're actually on separate platforms. One of the things that I want to do is get them both on the same platform. Um, but yeah, so from the marketing side, it's a bit more work.
Okay. All right, so this is the last question from my part, and then Adam, you could ask your question. So, my last question is, what kind of feedback do you hear the most from your customer?
Let's see, feedback that so I read every post-purchase survey that we get, that people take the time to fill it out. Um, Probably the number one thing is that they value our YouTube content. Essentially, my goal, like I said earlier, my goal is that we kind of guide you into figuring out what you should value in a product and essentially get the thing that's the best value in your budget. Whether that's uh, a UTG quad rail, drop-in quad rail, or if you're going for the top end Geisley handguard. Um, like everyone's at a different spot in life. Everyone's got different reasons. Like, dude, you could have millions of dollars in the bank, and you know what? A radical's just as fun as a Daniel Defense if they run. And we have a video coming up where we're gonna break a radical. Um, and I'm looking forward to that one. I'm happy I won't be there for it because I don't want to be around things when they break that much because it's usually my fault then. Um, but I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do to that thing.
Uh, Okay, Adam, you good?
He,
Yeah, I'm good. I bumped the button. Sorry,
Okay.
he stumbled.
I stumbled. Stumbled
But
sitting down.
so like the YouTube stuff, we hear a lot about that. Essentially fast shipping as well. That's why a lot of people come to us is if you need it for a weekend project, like there's a lot of companies, it's not being shipped until next week.
All right, Adam, hit him with your
Yeah,
questions.
will do. So yeah, it seems like this year you guys really started supporting shooters, and I would say, I guess I don't know how far you reached out, but definitely local shooters.
Hmm.
What what is your guys' main initiative and goal to support so many local shooters? And on top of that, like local clubs, because pretty much any match I've been to at any range here in Minnesota that, haven't been to all of them, but been to a lot of them so far this year. And it seems like, there's always a AT3 giveaway, and all that kind of stuff. And you guys are really, getting yourself out there. So yeah, what are you guys, I mean, seeing with that, like what's I guess the, what's your main initiative and goal with that, I guess?
So I guess for me, like a little selfish with it in the first part, but e essentially, like, I don't know, shooting was a big part of my life. Most of these ranges around Minnesota I've shot at, and the guys that have ran the matches, these guys are doing jobs that are very thankless, and being able to give something away every now and then is really nice. So I'm in a position where I can like support these local clubs. Uh, like Scaps, obviously, like I said, we shoot there. I was a big part of there. It holds a special place in my heart. Like anything I can do to support the local clubs, I am more than happy to do it. Just because, like, legit, two of my best friends I've met shooting. Um, uh, I mean, Brian and Andre, I love those guys. I met them shooting. They drove me to be better. I'd like to think that I drove one of them to be better. They can figure out which one's which. But it just like it. I got so much out of it that if I'm in a position where I can give back, I'm going to. Now, what we get from AT3 out of it, I think is we get exposure. And one of our biggest issues is up until last year, did you guys even know that AT3 was in St. Michael? Um, let
Mm.
alone the name.
I did
I don't,
because of
I,
Amazon.
I mean, you guys were doing, I'll say if you went back another year, I would say no. I think
Uh,
last year you guys started doing, at
yep.
least at SCAP, there was some AT3
So
giveaways, I think.
yeah, 2 years ago I started, and Scapso was the first. Like, we need a range to shoot at. Hey, Sweeter, David, like, let's work something out here. And it's funny because he's like, I've never had so many people at my shooters meetings. Like people actually show up to shooters meetings now because that's when they do the giveaways for the Stinger
Oh yeah.
classes or Red Dot or whatever. Um, but really what we're getting out of it is just brand awareness, notoriety. Like I've told you guys, it the nice thing about us is we don't sell just our brand. I would love if that's what you bought, but at the end of the day, I if you bought it from us, that's what I care about most. And like I said, that's kind of the direction we're heading a little more. Is just to be more of a retailer than a manufacturer. But yeah, so get that, and then also, um, so yeah, we got a handful of Minnesota shooters. I think just shy of two handfuls that are kind of under our quote unquote umbrella right now. And my goal is just to make it easier for you guys to shoot. However, I can help you guys shoot, whether that's, hey, I need product, I I need a deal on this thing that I've had people come to me like, you don't carry this, like, what are the possibilities to get it? I'm like, give me a day, I can get it for you. 'Cause we have access to pretty much everything out there. It's just a matter if it's made it into our queue to build a product page for it yet and stock it. Because that's always the biggest concern. Like, I would love to stock everything out there, but we don't have a huge facility. Like, we focus on what sells, and that's really what drives what we stock. But
Yeah,
yes,
right on. And it's like
yeah.
from my perspective too, like, just I usually make it to most SCAPS shoots and stuff. And I guess what's cool to see is, like there in my past life, dealt with a lot of support things and sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. But it was really, there was always a little bit of some, wanting something out of it on the tail end, or some expectations and stuff like that. And I will say, that I it's definitely not that way. that I can see with you guys. It's like, I mean, legitimately, like, like, and actually supporting like local clubs and local shooters, and whatever. And it's cool to see. So it's like, like, personally, like, I can definitely say it's like, regardless of, what product I use or don't use or whatever, it's like, I mean, will always be more than happy to like, wear the hat and the shirt, that just because what it does for the local scene, and
Mhm.
what I appreciate with that personally.
I remember talking to you, Adam, and you're like, "So, is there a performance expectation?" I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Absolutely
yeah,
not."
yeah,
My biggest goal for people, like, if my biggest goal is just you're a steward to the sport, you're an ambassador for the sport. I don't even care if you're an ambassador for AT3. That you're an ambassador to the sport, the 2A community. You're actively trying to, like, you know what? If one of your friends wants to go shooting, you take them shooting. You show them an enjoyable time, make them love guns in the end. If someone shows up to a competition, it's their first time, shows up with the high point and two mags, you know what? If he needs help reloading a mag mid-stage, you help him. And just like especially shooting being such a volunteer sport. Um, and like, dude, you look at these people putting on matches, like they're working 20, 30 hours a week to do this stuff, making nothing. Like they get a free membership out of it, and that's it. Like it,
yeah. That does. I'll be honest with you, that this is probably the first year I've actually, like, personally taken that, like, what you just said, into any sort of consideration. Of
mhm.
like, oh man, like, like, looking back, it's like looking at, like, some of the really good, just random Tuesday night stages that David Sweeter made. Chris does a really good job, and those guys over at Scaps
Mhm.
now, they're running and do good job. Tim, down in the cities, does an excellent job, and it's like, you don't really,
Tim's a GM stage builder.
yo, dude, yeah, like, you show up, and it's like, I've told him, it's like, dude, you go to some of these places, and we're really fortunate to have here in Minnesota. Like, you go to some of these places, and it's legit, like, most people would probably go to those, and you're like, wow, I went to like a state level match or an area match, and this is
Mhm.
like harder than that. You know what I mean? Or like better ran with better stages. You know what I mean? So,
And
and those dudes are doing it for free, and it's like, holy shit,
it,
it's crazy.
like some places you'll get like $5 off your match fee if you come help set up.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the things I've always tried to make sure I do is send stuff for setup crew. That doesn't get given away in the shooter meeting giveaways. It's essentially like, hey, here's some shirts and hats, like people that are a staple of your setup crew, give it to them.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and the little things is what kind of keeps matches running, but kind of full circle is the the newbie that shows up at the next match. There is what a 1 in 200 chance that he's going to be running matches someday.
Yeah.
Um, so like every person you can get into the sport that wants to do it, A, it's going to bring more money into it. But B, like it, I forget who said it, but someone said like, yeah, the smartest person the world's never found because they're in some third world country somewhere. They don't have the resources to become that smartest person in the world, but they have the brain capacity to be.
Oh, yeah.
So the next person that shows up at the next new person that shows up at the next match, they might be the next Ben Steger, the next Max Michelle, Jerry Mitchell. You never know.
Yeah.
Um, like especially some of these kids now coming in. Holy crap. Like you get some of these 16, 17-year-old kids that come in and they're just nuts. Like they're crazy good. And it's like, gosh, I wish I started this when I was 17.
Yeah. Oh, shit. You definitely don't see those dudes limping on their way back to their cart or something like that to reload.
Yeah.
They're good to
I
go.
mean, John Woodell, uh, AMU for three gun. Dude's cleaning house in the three gun scene. I remember being up at SCAPSA years ago. I mean, he must have been 14 years old. Shows up, gosh, I forget his buddy's name, but shows up and he's like, I just want to shoot. And now the dude's just crushing it in the three gun game right now for the AMU. And
God, I
like,
think even I didn't he finish like, or maybe it was an area match or something. He was like 2 or 3 or something.
yeah, hey, he's a great shooter.
Is he from Minnesota?
Yep. Yep.
No shit, huh?
Yep. Yeah, I remember RO and him on stages. Gosh, like I said, he must have been 13, 14 years old, and now he's all grown up. Like, dude's huge. Uh, but yeah, and he's just crushing the three gun game right now. So it's like it. If anyone's got a kid out there that needs support, cough, cough. Um, and let me know. I'll do what I can. Because I mean, kids are the more kids can respect the sport, have fun doing it, and it's not a taboo thing. In my opinion, that we're better off as a society that way.
Yeah, that's one thing that I truly appreciate about you guys is that the weekly giveaway, and you guys make everyone feel welcome. And you guys just don't focus on like the top shooter. So that I really appreciate that from you
I
guys.
Yeah, and like as much as I'd love to have all the top shooters in the sport, at the end of the day, it I don't want you guys to sell your soul for a 10% off coupon code, you know? That's never who I was. I want to support you guys. If you guys wear a shirt or not at matches, I don't you're not going to get an email from me. You aren't going to hear from me. At the end of the day, like if you got a buddy that's getting into it, like, hey, where should I buy a trigger for my AR? That's where I hope you say go to AT3.
Mm.
But uh I guess speaking of which, if anyone wants this, I think we're far enough in now.
Yeah.
So it's only good for one person, so whoever uses it first. And I think it might be reversed in the screen, so you got to figure it out, but
No, it's good. All right, so let's just say that if one day you guys did decide to like fully sponsor a top shooter, do you do you guys require them to always give good feedback about the products, or do you guys want them to be extremely honest, even if they hate the product and they're gonna explain why they hate it?
I I would much rather have honest people
Okay.
than a shill. That's kind of partially why I don't have any ambition to have like a performance shooter that like, you know what? I'm gonna go out. I mean, Ben Engleston. Talked to him this winter. I'm like, so what does it take to wear one of our shirts? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, I'll call you. And so like he's probably one of the best shooters in Minnesota right now.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
now that Casey's moved, I mean we got a couple of shooters that are right up there with Ben, but I mean top five, he's in it. Um, I I I'm more happy to see him do well on a personal standpoint than like the companies involved with it. Like like I said, like the biggest thing is I want to make it easier for him to go to matches to shoot and perform well, than to put anything over the top of their head. And like really, once you start getting into performance, that's when you lose the fun.
Mhm.
I know for me, I was never gonna be a paid shooter, a professional. It's a hobby. I go out and have fun. When it comes to rain, I have a rule. I shoot for fun. If it's raining when I'm shooting, that's not fun. So if I know it's raining, I don't go shooting. But now you're at the area match and it downpours in Nebraska. Like, yeah, you got to tough that one out. But if it's a horrible day outside, I ain't going shooting, boys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel that one, especially like given, it's like the thing I struggle with is it's like the heat, and it's like I can do hot, like it's not a problem, but it's the like, okay, 4 stages, it's like, okay, I'm surviving,
It
it's good, it's fine.
it's
And
those
then
Forest
like,
Lake bays with the crushed asphalt and no
yeah,
trees and
yeah, it's like, oh
no
my God, like
wind.
10 stages in, all of a sudden it's just like, dude, every like straight up survival mode,
Yep.
straight survival mode at that point, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
and that's a lot of like just matches in general, the mentality and just physical endurance of the day. like it by the end of the days, like that's when mistakes happen the most, I feel. Just because you're just mentally exhausted and yeah, you're out in 95-degree weather in the sun. It's always fun seeing what people have in their carts. Like I remember years ago at there's a guy that was doing Steel Challenge that he would show up. He had a cart just with batteries and a fan that he would bring
Yeah.
out with him. It's funny what people do to stay cool, but that was also before like and Scaps has always been great at it, having the water fridge. Um, like that's one thing I've always loved about Scaps is uh they got drink there for you and they feed you after. Um,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
just like on hot days, having coolers of water for competitors, it, I've not dug deep into the finances of running matches, but I'm pretty sure most of them can afford water for people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Scapsa does a good job with that for sure. And then Forest Lake does a good, or
Yep,
Mapsa,
yep,
they got the coolers at every bay, and it's on them real hot days and stuff. It seems like Tim usually throws in get some Gatorade and stuff like that, so that's always
yep.
much appreciated. But yeah, man, those like 8 to 10 stages, 100 degrees outside, whatever. I mean, I'm a man of what I say, and I can't go back on it. So like when I started, the only thing that I've gone back on is like I'm like, oh man, I'm always just gonna carry my bag. I'm gonna carry a range bag. I think carts are for nerds, and this and that. And um, that I settled on a Milwaukee pack out, so I don't know if we call that a cart or not. But
It's got
yeah, dude,
wheels.
It's cart.
it's got wheels, I guess. Yeah, yeah.
It- it-
But yeah, you see the guys with like the DeWalt fans, the Milwaukee fans all set up and full
I
umbrella setups and shit. And it's like, yeah, I'm definitely never gonna be there, but I get where you're coming from.
I
I get
I
where you're coming from.
forget who it was. It was either Middlemark or Casey. And one day at a match, you're like, dude, take the mags off your belt. Like, why? Dude, that's weight that you're just walking around with all day. Like, take them out, put them back in when you're ready for the stage. But then also, I guess the thing that helped me with that was I'm taking my mags out. I'm gonna look at them all. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had the unload show clear. You put the mag in that first pouch that's empty. Go to the next stage, you reload, and you only got three in it. And
Dude, I
like,
can't even fucking tell you how many times that has bit me where it matters most.
yeah, and so like one of the things that does, I take all my mags out. So when you're getting ready for the next stage, you're putting the mags in, but then you're also double checking everything. So it's like that one's kind of a double win there that less weight and yeah, you now you're checking your mags.
Yeah, it's something I need to do. Like I've done a good. It hasn't happened to me this year, so I've done a pretty good job with it. But that has and is a thing for sure.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so next up, just kind of curious if most of your team over at AT3 are shooters themselves. Do all you guys test the gear that you use personally? Like, I mean, I'd say specifically more so like the AT3 products themselves. Obviously you guys couldn't test 6,000 SKUs or whatever you guys have for product, but
Yeah, so almost everything we bring in, we're gonna have hands-on experience with. Um there's very select parts that like miscreants uncovered. We don't manufacture everything that we brand. Um, our barrels, we literally say who they come from on the bottom of the product page itself. Because guess what? We don't know how to make a barrel. Um, you leave that to the people that do. And there's very few manufacturers for barrels out there. Like, yeah, there's a lot of barrel people out there, but for volume, there's not a ton. Lowers, there's even less. But so almost everything, yeah, we're gonna get our hands on it. Now, if it's a mil spec safety, you know what? When it comes to mil spec, you can be buying from the same person for 20 years and you're gonna get something different like every third shipment, just because that's the way it is. Now, if you want something that like you want the exact same mil spec safety every time, you're going to pay a premium for that. But from like a functional standpoint, all that, especially red dots, hand guards, kind of the big stuff that we're known for. Yeah, we're testing them. I mean, our Ace, I'm sure Jordan has close to 5,000 rounds through it already through production samples. Um, we will take a production sample out and just run 1,000 rounds through it nonstop. I don't know if you guys have ever done 1,000 round torture tests, but they suck. As fun as they sound, that gun is hot. Your hands hurt. Like, shoot 1,000 rounds in 45 minutes and tell me how much fun you had. But so we'll usually mount red dots on shotguns because they're some of the most violent that you can get. We'll mount them on revolvers, 50. We've done some on 50 BMGs before, but really a shotgun, that's going to be your most violent recoil that you're going to come across. Like you get in some of those big bore rifles, bolt action rifles, but really you find a shotgun, you put 30, 40, 50 rounds through that. That's good torture for any red dot.
Right on. Yeah, and then like is any of your team like I mean, would you call them
Mm,
like gun guys, I guess,
yes.
either not. I mean, not that I like lumping people into certain categories of shooting, because I think shooting is shooting. But do any of them compete?
Oh,
Do any of them like get
there's
to the range weekly?
there's definitely different flavors of shooters out there. So like I'm the competition guy at work. Uh, I've we've had a couple of people come out to competitions with me, but none of them really went to a USPSA match before I started working there.
Mm.
Um, Jordan, he's our product developer dude, operations director, and he, I swear he buys a new gun every other week, and he goes out and shoots it, and like the dude's nuts. But big hunter, he's kind of down to try anything. Does a lot of trap shooting. He's kind of grew up as a good old boy style, kind of middle of nowhere, Minnesota, really close to family, stuff like that. But I mean, Jordan probably is the most rounded guy that we have. Uh, we got one of my guys, Sam. He's actually he's our old soul. He's awesome. He's younger than me. He's not super young, but he uh he loves the history around guns. He knows more about guns that were built before 1950 than he knows about modern guns because that's what he cares about. Like uh he's doing a series that we just kind of started off on YouTube about kind of the history of guns. Um So I think he's got one coming out on Armalite coming up. He just did, I think it was the 602 he just did. And then I think it's Armalite, and I think he's going to be doing Anderson here pretty soon. Now that they went the rest in peace, Anderson.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
yep, they're just dropping like flies right now. It's kind of amazing. Sad but amazing. And so yeah, Sam's our old soul. And then we got a couple military guys. Got a Kevin in our warehouse. He was a military guy. He's the best shooter. If you ask him, he's the best shooter in the office. And then uh, Josh, our video manager, he was Marine. Good shooter. I mean, he's been in the kind of the defense area before he came to AT3. So he was working for a company called the Hardhead Veterans. Um, like literally, I interviewed him at SHOT Show. So, uh, and then Sam, our video editor, he's been in the firearms space doing video stuff for years. He's worked with all the big names in Minnesota, doing freelance work or working directly with them. Um, and then yeah, CJ, he's a little newer. He loves firearms and stuff, but he's learned along the way. Part of the value that he brings to our YouTube channel is he 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 doesn't have anything set. He's not trying. CJ is a young pup, and we can teach him new tricks, or he can learn new tricks. Where I think the proper term is the FUDs.
Mhm.
He's not stuck in the FUD lore. So
Yeah.
where like I might have my opinion on how to do something, but there's a better way now. Um, especially when it comes to like dots, like how to shoot with a red dot. He probably knows more about that than I do. Like, dude, I try to draw a gun. I'm still looking for iron sights. Like production killed me on that. Like I can't find that dot to save my life. Um, Rifles are different, but like something about a handgun, man. Like just production killed me to look for an iron sight every time.
Bro, we just dropped. There was just that YouTube video on dry fire how to find how to index the gun.
Yep.
Watch YouTube, dude.
I know. I just need to do it more. Um, but so one of the things that I've really enjoyed is essentially our YouTube side of things at AT3, and that is by far my biggest marketing line item budget that I have. Because essentially it's three people that are employed where we do two videos a week, and recently we had Adam on. CJ and Adam worked together on a dry fire video, and I guess I'm gonna throw a question out to you, Adam, is what did you like about it? What did you hate about it?
Um, I guess let me ask you a question then. So, what do you mean as far as what did I like and hate about the experience, or just the content, or like, I
Yeah,
guess what?
the experience, the content. Yeah, I know I was we had an audio issue apparently during the recording of it, but outside of becoming a GM a week after the video was released, um,
Yeah.
I guess more so from the experience of it. What did you like? What did you hate?
Well, I tell you what I really liked about the experience of it is, like now being in, been doing this sport for, I always get it mixed up, 3 years, maybe I might be in my fourth year. I can't remember. Um, and it's like you kind of like you hear it time and time again where you go through this like transition period of like, oh, I'm the tactical guy, and that's shooting, and then you kind of like, you find this and you find that, and all of a sudden you kind of find yourself maybe at a competition, and like you kind of realize like, okay, there's really only one way to get better with this specific tool, and it's like looking back now, there's so much good content on the internet, and I think people don't know where to look to find it. You know what I mean? So like having that, like that ability to, link up with you guys and do a video on how to dry fire, like I think there's some very specific things that get overlooked. So the ability to help you guys get that information out there, of at least what I viewed as important, and then you have somebody who's fairly green, like kind of learning right next to me in the video and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate that. I think that is more of the content that should be out there. Not it doesn't have to be all of it, but like, and I'm just meaning like in general in the firearms community. I think people get so caught up in the cool factor of things and stuff. They forget how to actually use what they're think is cool. You know what I mean? So no, I appreciated being able to be a part of, kind of getting some of that real basic information out there. Because it's stuff that I wish that was easy to find looking back when I would have first started. You know what I mean? Um, because it's like, again, I didn't know where to look. So the more that basic information is, what to look for, all that kind of stuff, the better in my opinion. So um, yeah, I guess things that yeah, there's nothing that I hated. It was a great experience, like you guys have a great place down there, I got a tour of the place, and it was it was great.
You got a
And
lot of gun parts in that
yeah,
warehouse.
yeah, it's a lot of gun parts, a lot of,
They're all
it's
packed
always
together.
cool. Yeah, it's always cool to like, um, kind of see the inner workings of whatever that whether it's a you know kind of a support role, a sponsor, whatever. It's always cool to see how that system works on the back end. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Kind of gives you a little more. Um, I don't want to say the word I'm looking for is, like it's like recommending, if I was, which of course I do, but it's like if I was recommending, a place for people to shop or whatever, it's like when you have that firsthand look at how it works in the background and all that kind of stuff, it's like, yeah, no, of course go shop here. It's great. Um, so I mean, I truly, have nothing bad to say about it, like, um,
Come
you
on, I
guys were
gotta
great.
yell at the guys tomorrow about something.
No, dude, like you guys were great, like,
It,
um, yeah, I mean, I I
the
can't I
biggest thing
can't
that
think of anything. So
my struggle always is with the video is just how long it can take sometimes. Like you pull a cut, do it again, do it again. Okay, that one worked. Do the
well,
next one and the next one.
yeah, dude, and I mean to that point, I will say maybe I'm from a different, like again, like some of the stuff I was involved in, previous getting into shooting, I dealt with a lot of that, a lot
Hmm.
of it. So coming into that and like, okay, hey, let's redo this again. Did we get that? I don't know. Let's redo. Dude, it's really, at least for me, if it's really nothing, because it's like the stuff that I used to was like full on motocross gear. You're standing out, in the sun, 100 degrees. You've been out there for 8 hours. All right, we got to do it again. We got to do it again. And it's like, dude, physically can't. You know what I mean? Like that was, so this was a great experience, if anything. So
Yeah, and that's just always CJ is actually really good with like the interaction stuff. Um, like that's where he really shines is when there's a conversation to be had. He's very good with them. He's just a personable person. He asks a lot of questions. And that's what I like about him. So yeah, they asked me like who should we talk to? I'm like, Adam, you were the first choice. I will say that. I'm not just buttering you up,
hey, I
but
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
you were the first choice. So, yeah, that was fun to do. Like the YouTube, really the hardest thing is just dealing with the community guidelines on YouTube and like what can we do and what can't we do, you know?
Yeah.
Like right now we have a warning for a community guidelines issue, but it like uh, Sam, our old gun guy, he did a video that got age restricted because we showed Vietnam War footage. You can watch Forrest Gump, you can
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
a guy get shot in the ass, but God forbid you pull some Vietnam footage of a full auto going. Nope,
Yeah.
can't show that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy. I mean, like it's literally like I never knew. I mean, I don't have a YouTube. I know nothing of YouTube, but um, God, there's like a few big channels. I think Ben Steger YouTube got fucking smacked a little bit for. I
mhm.
I don't remember for what, but I just remember he said he was in timeout for like 3 weeks or something like that. For
Yep.
I don't even know, and I'm just kind of like I didn't know that was actually a thing on YouTube.
Yeah, three strikes and you're gone. It's if you're big enough, there is a possibility of getting your channel back. But for a vast majority of people, if you get three community guideline strikes, your channel is deleted. It is gone, start from scratch. And so like a lot of it, one of the things on our radar is to have a backup channel soon. Because we just passed 130,000 subs last week. So, like, yeah, we should probably build a backup channel because, dude, if YouTube goes away, that's three people on my team gone without a job, which I don't want to do. So,
Yeah,
keeping like one thing that I kind of pride ourselves on at AT3 is like everyone knows everyone. Um, like literally with my guys, at least every other week I have one-on-ones with them. I care more about who you are as a person than talking about work there. Um, just because I I want to hire good people. I want to work with people that I enjoy being around. Because I'll tell you this, if you don't like who you're around for 8+ hours a day, life sucks. And life is too short to suck. So,
Oh, dude,
um,
for sure.
like if I don't like who I'm around, I'm gonna solve that problem. Um, and
Dude,
I
I gotta ask. I gotta ask. I don't mean to interrupt, but like,
yeah,
so I met your guys' team real briefly and whatever. And again, the environment that you guys have there is, seemed very chill, like very good environment to work in. But do you guys ever like, is there any pranks going on? Is there any, like whatever? Is it pretty lighthearted like that? Or
not not so much pranks. I mean, at the end of the day, like try to keep it somewhat professional. Um, like it. My biggest thing is I the last thing I want to deal with is someone making a complaint because
Mm,
someone did something.
yeah,
Um, like not saying it's never happened. Like I've previous job I was at, I had to deal with some of the most bullshit, just drama that was just stupid. My wife's a nurse. She deals with that stuff all the time. Just petty drama. Um, but no, like most of us, we get along pretty well. Like there's seniority there, which is nice. And I think one of the biggest things is like you separate, I guess from my standpoint is I separate the professional from the personal. I want to get to know you as a person, but
yeah,
also I want to see how I can make you professionally better. Because my goal for every employee that I look at or that I manage over is that when they leave AT3, they leave to go to something better. And that doesn't mean we can't have fun along the way. We can't tell some jokes. Like, dude, if I'm not laughing look, again, life's too short to be miserable. Like, laugh along the way. I, I probably say some things I probably shouldn't here and there. That's partially what I like about working at a smaller company like AT3.
yeah.
Because I mean, I past two companies I've been at, private equities came in and I've left because just what happens to the culture. Culture is so important to me that just like
It's like,
eh, I'll cook a brisket and bring it in for lunch some days. Or yeah, it's just like we have a shooting league that we do during the summer. Um, and yeah, just mostly everyone kind of gets along with everyone. We're small enough that there's not too many personality issues. Like like I said, there's been some in the past, but right
yeah,
now we got a pretty damn good team there.
yeah. No, it seemed that way. It's definitely the vibe that I got when I
Hmm
was there. So no, that was cool. It was cool to meet everybody. So
hmm
How many employees do you guys have? A rough
So
number.
right around 20.
Okay.
About what was it? Like 13 are on site in St. Michael, and then the other handful and a half are remote employees. Um, yeah, kind of just spread throughout. We got a couple in the Philippines, Mexico, Nicaragua. Um, yeah, we got a couple spread throughout. So, but even those guys, like, dude, we got a guy in the Philippines. He knows more about guns than almost everyone I know that's not in like the shooting world. Uh, he knows more about AR-15s than a lot of people. But he can't own one. He just he's one of our longest standing employees. He does customer service. If you guys ever send us an email, you might get a response from Vin. Vin is awesome. He will he wants to make sure customers are happy all the time, and he he is very resourceful. He figures stuff out. And like at the end of the day, he takes care of his shit. So, like, to some of our remote employees, like, we got some badass remote employees from what I've worked with previously. Um, the ones that we have at AT3 are awesome.
that's cool. I would have never guessed that,
Yeah.
like that widespread for
hmm
remote employees. So
I mean, the Philippines employees is actually amazing because they're really good at English. Like, they know our culture. Because Philippines is a pretty English culture over there, and they have great English. And yeah, they have good work ethics over there too. So yeah, happy with who we got right now. We got a good crew.
Right on. Um, yeah, I think that
Yeah, that should be all of our questions. So, Charlie, do
So
you have any question for us?
I do. Um, Q, I got one for you. What what got you started doing the podcast? Like what was the trigger?
Um, I never really thought about it. I think it's mainly for like, well, my main focus was to like focus more on like new shooters, like the D class to A class shooters, because I feel like we don't really get a chance to hear from the D class to A class shooters because if you want to listen to GM shooters, they're everywhere on YouTube. So I feel like everyone has their own story or their own journey. So that's why I started this podcast to speak more towards like the newer shooters.
Nice.
Even though like my main guests like are like GMs and stuff, but I ask like really me and my other co-host Christian, we ask really simple question
Hmm.
so that the newer shooter could understand. Yeah.
That's awesome. How how many times did you record something and not post it?
Oh, zero. I posted
Okay.
everything. Yep.
Okay. You YOLO'd it.
Yep.
Um, it's funny because a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I got to do it again, or eventually they pedestal it and they never get to it. It's kind of like shooting a match almost. Like one of the worst things you can do is go watch a match and not shoot your first time. The like if you do that, you're gonna see the Adams going, you're gonna see the Ben Englesons, the Timmies, like you're gonna see these
dude,
people that just crush it.
you know what the funny thing is? Quick story to specifically that point. So when I was getting done, I should take the when I knew I was nearing the end of my freestyle motocross stuff, kind of era of my life. I was into guns and I'm like, dude, I seen some stuff on social media about competition shooting, all that kind of stuff, and looked up a local club. Well, obviously it's SCAPSA, right? I don't know what year this would have been. This probably would have been 20 2018, maybe 2018, maybe 2017, 20 something like that, whatever.
That was
And
my era.
dude, I went to SCAPSA. No, like I didn't have anything. I didn't whatever. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go like feel this out, and went there, watched the match. I probably watched. I don't know. I think I followed the squad around for like two stages or something. And I was like, oh yeah, no, this is cool. I mean, it really was. But it was like, it to that point. I'm like, oh man, like this is way, kind of like it was. I
Hmm.
wish I wouldn't have, or I wish I would have shown up and just shot. If
For
I would have had the stuff to do it. But do you know? So the
I
president
might
at the
remember
time,
you from that.
dude, the president of the time was you
Would have been
for
sweeter.
it was maybe okay, maybe it was the guy I was talking to. I forget.
Ross. So Ross Rosenberg was president before the Sweeter. That switch was 2016-ish, I think. I'd have to look at my notes on that. But it was kind of right around there. It may have been 2018-ish.
Yeah, there was whatever. But anyway, I hung around and it's just funny now. Like made my way back for whenever I started shooting like 2020, something like that. And it's like, here we are now, type of a thing. But it's like kind of to your point, you know what I mean? You kind of never know, like that next person who's never shot it before. I mean, they might be the dude 5 years
Hmm.
from now that's like the guy,
2017 was the switch over from
2017. Okay.
Ross to Sweeter. Uh, for there's been a handful of people that have like showed up for like they watch one or two stages and then leave, and then
Yeah, yeah.
it's not common that they come back, but when they do, That's always awesome. Like, oh, I remember you from last week. So that was like just getting new people in is always awesome. Which is great that you're doing these podcasts because the biggest one of the biggest things like the hurdles with shooting is just gaining confidence in what you can do. Like, oh, I can rip a split. Now, did you hit anything? That's a different story. But like, if you can do a a super fast split, like, okay, you're halfway there. Now you just got to hit something.
Yeah, right.
Um, but yeah, it's just like it's been fun kind of watching things progress over the years. And like from when I got in, Burnsville was one of my first matches. Went with my Springfield XD Mod 2 with the grip zone at the time. I still love that gun. I know some people really hate it, but I don't know. I like it. And just shot that. Like go out, shoot some. You know what? Like you're not going to compete with these top tier guys. And that's where if you go watch a match and you see someone just smash it. Just hose down a stage like bullets are like just touching each other. Um like if you pedestal something in life like that, you're never going to live up to what you want. Where like with these podcasts, dude, YOLO it. Send one out, do 1% gains every time you can, and you're going to get better. Uh I know with like YouTube with our company, like that's kind of one of the things is sometimes we got to fuck around and find out a little bit. Um, like if it came down to a sheer business decision to do like these dry fire videos or first match videos, I can't say yes to those. But
Yeah.
from value to the 2A community, I can say yes to those because it's not my goal to make money to have our YouTube team shill products. At the end of the day, if they don't want to make a video, I will not force them to make it. Most of the videos they do are their ideas.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, for
but
sure.
I guess question for both of you here is, as a company standpoint, what could we improve on it on the most? And hurt my feelings, I can hear like you won't make me cry.
You know, I guess, man, kind of caught me off guard with that one. I would say, you guys have you guys definitely have a great selection of product, and honestly, I think the only thing that I can see, improving on is just continuing to add to that product line as you guys, see fit and see the need for sure. Obviously, you can't like, okay, we're gonna carry this line because like two people asked me for it. You know what I mean? But I think like continuing, bringing in product that shooters, you know,
Hmm.
absolutely use, need, even like, I don't know how much you guys are going to get involved or need, with actual like the sale of firearms. I know you guys do some of that, you know. If
Guns, guns are an interesting one because no matter what, you still have to go to an FFL to
Yeah,
get
yeah, that's
transferred.
true.
Like I that is one thing that as great as it looks on paper, dude, there's no money in handguns. Like
Yeah, do retailers, like, if you, let's say, okay, like you had a stock of Glock 47s, right? And does Glock, do they determine what you can sell that for?
yes.
So basically, like, you would have to sell that for the same cost that, every other store, every other online store, whatever, is got it for sale.
Yeah, so most manufacturers, well, the good ones at least, have what's called map pricing or some variant of that. It's like minimum advertised pricing or manufacturer's advertised pricing. But if you ever hear map pricing, essentially that is the rock bottom price that they'll allow it at. Uh,
Okay.
some companies really enforce it. Um, some companies they have a map, but Magpul, they have a map. They do not enforce that. Like there's no way for them to because that cat's out of the bag. But now, Real Avid, oh, dude, I'll get an email from them within 24 hours if we have something under map price, which from my perspective, I appreciate. I love map pricing from a retailer's perspective because it does two things. Well, it does more than two. It does about three things. Is A, it makes sure that that brand is not a race to the bottom brand. Um, there's a lot of people out there that like you can sell this stuff out of your garage. You get an FFL out of your home, you set up an account with a distributor, you drop ship everything, and you're going for the 2% back on your credit card. Well, that's not sustainable long term. That's you wanting to get some good deals and you know what? Maybe I'll make a couple bucks out of this in the end.
Yeah.
Until you have to deal with warranty stuff, customer service, and uh I would never do a company for a 2% profit. Um, so like there's those that it's a race to the bottom. Um, so that just drives down a product's value, and that's where Map's good because it keeps it where it's at, and it kind of keeps a hierarchy of good, better, best on products.
Yeah.
Uh, but then you get into okay, we're an e-commerce retailer. We don't have a storefront. I don't have to employ guys that sit out on a show floor and talk to customers. Um, I mean, when you guys go into a gun store, do you 100% of the time buy a gun when you go in?
No.
Literally, like, and no offense to you, but you're going in and just costing them money because and not saying that they have 20 other customers staying in line, but they need to keep people on the floor so they can talk to you. And that's what a good gun store does. You look at Arnzen, like, dude, you can go in there, you chat with them, get great advice from them, very knowledgeable people, and those people aren't cheap to employ. Um, but then you get to so one of the things MAP does is it protects those margins for them. So I can't go and undercut them because that's the
Yeah.
last thing I want to do. Um, the other the other thing MAP does too is, well, I mean that's kind of covered most of it. That's where I say two, kind of three, but it just kind of makes sure that there's profit all around. That this brand's value stays there, stays intact. Because I over Black Friday last year, I had to talk to uh, one of the brands that we work with closest. Like, dude, we guys went heavy on you guys, and we got screwed over Black Friday because primary sold it below cost. Like, you can't allow that. And you know what? Now, why would I ever buy your product full price when I know people are selling it 50% off?
Yeah.
And then from my end of it, why would I carry that product when I know the only way I can sell it is for a negative 20% loss on it? So
Sounds like some pretty bad business to me.
it, that's probably the most frustrating thing with the firearms market is all these fly-by-nights, small companies. Um, but then also like we stock a lot of stuff. If you order something from a company and it takes 3 to 4 days to ship, more than likely you place your order, they took your money, went and bought it from a distributor, and then either had that distributor drop ship it right to you, or they cross dock it, they bring it in, and then they ship it out. But more than likely they're just drop shipping it right to you. So they don't even touch it. And that's why it takes an extra 2, 3 days for it to process because they don't have control over the logistical side.
Huh. It's crazy. I never thought about that.
So yeah, that's kind of our biggest thing is like it, I I don't want to take money for some I don't have. It's just like a
Yeah.
good general rule in life. So
Dude, that's one thing for me. Like I've never bought a gun that like I didn't actually like go to the store and buy,
mm,
I think I've gotten a few from Shields where I ordered it on their website, and then went and picked it up from Shields, but it showed like they had it in stock, like at one of their stores. They just shipped it from store to store. You know what I mean? Um,
it,
but
it it's funny. I talked to a couple uh gun stores here and there, like, oh, how do you guys feel about Palmetto? like as much as I hate Palmetto, it's hard to hate them because they're killing it with some like, dude, do you ever think you get a Glock for 300 bucks?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's, I mean, for a range gun, I mean, really for anything, like their saber line, their cranks, like, uh, I don't know, they're doing cool shit right now, but they are soaking up the vertical real quick. And they don't do wholesale on anything. But so I talked to some gun stores and it's like, well, how do you feel about them? Oh, I love them. That's my first $500 every day, just Palmetto transfers. And they're like, and I charge an extra 20 bucks for Palmetto transfers. It's just like people just make money hand over fist doing transfers. But then you talk to some gun stores and they're like, oh, they don't have a dealer program. I refuse to support them in any way. And so it's just kind of fun hearing that stuff because I try not to let others I try to put blinders on as much as I can when it comes to how other people are doing their business.
yeah,
Because it is there's no shame in coattailing, but you got to be original sometimes. You got to find your niche. So
no, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
All right, so is your question okay, so is your question specifically about the company um or just my opinion
just
on the
your opinion.
products? Okay.
Product company.
Product. Okay, so I can only speak on the products. I can't really speak on the company because I think what you guys are doing as a company, fantastic. Keep it up. But then for the products, I know that you guys are okay, so I'm gonna speak from a shooter point of view, since I don't consider myself a gun person because me personally, I don't really care much about guns or gears. I just care more about like the shooting and the training side. So I'm gonna speak based on the shooting and the training side. So I understand that earlier you guys are making products more towards like, the regular gun guys, right? And I know that you guys are coming out with a bigger window dot, the eighth, for the RMR footprint, right? I feel like if you guys start to focus, I wouldn't say more, but starting to focus towards like shooters, where shooters like the actual shooters that go compete and stuff, where they could go and test your guys' optics. I think that will um let's see what am I trying to say? That will give you guys more recognition. So, for example,
Mm,
right, like if you go on Amazon and then you guys see the products, if you guys go look on the reviews, you guys don't actually know if that person that's reviewing the product is actually a shooter or not. Because my experience, I used to be those people where I would just put a optic, any optic, it doesn't matter what brand, and I put on my gun, and if it looks nice, I'm gonna say, okay, this is good to go. This optic is fantastic, but I never actually tried it or shot it. So I feel like if you guys start to um focus more on the shooter, where the shooter can actually take your guys' optic and go test it at the match, um, and that will bring more awareness to like more serious shooters to AT3 Tactical because in my opinion, as a civilian, the only time we really get to put our gear, our guns, our optic to test is at matches.
mhm.
And at matches, it will tell you if the product product or the gun is reliable or not. So that's just my opinion. I'm hope that that's why I'm excited for you guys Ace, the big window dot. And I want to run it, and I really hope
So
it's good.
note to self, Q gets the nano to test. No, like I honestly, that's great feedback. I honestly feel the same way. Like for from a business standpoint, you guys are the minority.
Yeah.
Um, you guys that shoot over 100 rounds a year. Uh, which if you look at the average gun owner, they're like for this. the average person to shoot over, say, 200 rounds a year is not common at all.
That's so
Um,
great.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 10,000, 15,000 round years when you're going hard at competitive shootings, like that might be on the low end. I know for some people that is drastically low, but I mean, it's still a decent amount of money to do. But yeah, and you look at kind of where the volume is. So now you guys are the ones that spend money. So it's kind of like earlier where it's like, okay, what are you going to use this product for? Are you going is okay, you spent money to go to nationals, plane ticket, hotel, the match fee, everything associated with going there. You have a ton of money into it and your dot fails. That sucks. Like you might as well have not gone because if you have that happen during a stage, you are not going to win. Really any match with some heat there. If you have an issue like that, squib, Adam, um, you have a squib mid stage, something like that. Like it's happened to me. Um, it, it's just it's gonna kill it. And now you got to try to make that up, which you can never make it up. Like your best bet is just forget about it. And so one of the things before I got there, like I've had very little input on direction of product. I've had more, well, obviously since I've been there. So like the Dayglow colors, that came from you guys. I mean, Chris Pequin, he was the one really pushing me for it. Sorry, Chris, it's been a long time since we brought this up and started it, but oh, it's yeah. The company that we get our glasses stuff from, they take forever. Um, but so like those are coming. That came from shooters. Uh, big window dots. Heck, green dots. Like when I got into AT3, our product development was kind of on a hiatus at that point. And product development takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money and resources to do. And dude, there's some good products out there right now. And that's where we're kind of shifting a little more into, you know what, let's try to compete with all these people that are really good at making dots that you guys love. Dude, let's just be the place where you can come get what you love and we'll make sure that you get it quick. Um, they, and so like now we're carrying some double alpha stuff. That one, that was like a pet project for me to bring in some belts and some mag pouches. We
I
don't
got
have
one
the
for you
whole,
guys.
yep, we don't have the whole lineup, but I mean, we got a few things. We got kind of the necessities you might need that if there's a match tomorrow, or say it's Tuesday and there's a match on Friday, or the funny thing in Minnesota, there's no matches on Fridays. Any day of the week but Friday, you can shoot in Minnesota. I've always said, but if it's Wednesday night and you want to go shoot a new open rig on Saturday, dude, place that order Wednesday night. You should have it by Friday, end of day. Um, so that's kind of part of the reason bringing more, but like honestly, the more feedback we can get, the better. Like I'm a little dated. I haven't shot a lot in the last how old's my oldest kid? 6. So I haven't shot a lot in the last 6 years. Q, I'm looking to get to the point where I can bring my kids out shooting more, but at this point, I don't trust them. I don't trust them enough. Um, but yeah, I mean, the more feedback we can get, like I review our post-purchase survey every week. If there's I review that and search results, on-site search. What were our popular searches? What were our searches with no results in them? That drives me to what you guys are looking for. Like, gosh, if we could carry FRTs, that would be awesome. But being in Minnesota, we can't. Um, we just can't stock them in Minnesota at all, so we can't sell them. But like, I don't know, just let us know. Anything you guys want, if you want us to do something better, differently, the more people we have telling us something, the more like I always make this analogy when it comes to like development tickets, stuff like that, and like issues on the website. Uh, it, if I have 10 tickets telling me talking about one issue versus one ticket talking about another issue, guess which one I'm going to resolve first? I'm going to resolve the one with 10 tickets, where that one issue, that's not that important because I can get 10 things done at once here, or I can get 10 tickets solved by fixing one thing. So it's really the squeaky wheel gets the grease is a lot of it. So yeah,
Yes. Oh,
I
sorry, you guys
appreciate
got
that feedback. That's very good.
some background noise. My neighbor's bull's just over there fucking yelling.
Oh, he's waiting for you.
Yeah, right.
Adam, you're late.
I
You're late.
don't want nothing to do with him. He's a big boy.
But yeah, I guess yeah, anything from I mean you guys, and that's part of the reason that I want to work with you guys closer is make sure you guys have like kind of a path to like, hey Charlie, this sucks. Hey Charlie, I want this. Um, I usually can't snap my fingers and make it happen, but at the same time, I can always petition for it. To see if we can prioritize it. And if it's something we can do, I'll let you know. If it's something we can't, I mean, as much as I hate saying no to people, sometimes that is the answer. It's like handguns. Are we ever going to produce handguns? No. At least not in the next 5 years. That is nowhere on the radar. There's just too many people that are good at it out there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just think that if you once the Ace comes out, and I think it could be a big hit, especially in
Mhm.
Minnesota, because you guys are always at the matches and stuff. I'm pretty sure other shooters will want to try it. And if it's reliable, I think it could be a big hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal. I mean, our Aero Mini, it's an RMSC, so little
Yeah.
one. Uh, that thing sells super well. And like one of the things I hate is we sell on Amazon. Like I hate selling on Amazon. They are horrible for products. Because there's no support. Like, dude, we get Stinger glasses returns. Um,
Yeah.
Adam, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Adam came in to help with the video. I got a couple of Stinger glasses returns. Usually they're like pretty much brand new that we get them back. I mean, if someone's listening to this has sent something back to Amazon that they used and it's like, oh no, it didn't work. Like, I don't blame you. I've done it too. Um, but you really just change your mind. But like we legit, I don't even know what brand glasses that is that we got that was in that case, but we've gotten
Oh yeah,
Under
yeah,
Armour's.
yeah, random one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten Oakley's back. And it's literally people just taking them out, take the new pair, put their old pair in, send it back for a refund. And Amazon yells at us for it. Like literally,
That's
I had to go through a thing a month or two ago, and because we had Amazon was sending out customer returns to new customers. And so one customer got a pair of glasses that were not Stinger glasses. And Amazon wants me to apologize to Amazon, not the customer, to Amazon about how are we going to fix that so that doesn't happen again. And we've told Amazon we want every return back. And that's why I end up with those pretty much new
whatever that. Yeah, yeah,
glasses
yeah,
because
yeah.
we won't take a return and sell it as new from Amazon because we just don't know anything about it. Um, so usually those end up as just like, hey, Adam, thanks for stopping by. Here's a couple of glasses. Hand them out to whoever. So, uh, or yeah, I mean, you want to do this with it, and they actually finally snap because you've done it 1,000 times. But yeah, so I usually end up with those in my office, and it was just funny that I'm like, Adam, let me check these before I give them to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Nope, that's not that's not even
Not
us. I
yeah,
don't know
not even
that.
Stinger.
Yeah.
That was funny. I would have never like that's not something I realized ever realized was a thing.
So a lot of the times, like if you order some off Amazon just for any company and it's not like it's used or something like that, that's not the company. That's Amazon just being Amazon. robots. They work by robots and numbers and not people.
Mm.
All
Man, so
right. I think that's all the time that we have. So for Charlie, so where can people find AT3 Tactical?
Uh, AT3Tactical.com. I mean, we're in St. Michael, Minnesota. Like I said, we don't really have a retail store or anything like that, but if you ever want to stop out, shoot me a message. I mean, I'm on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have our YouTube channel. It's just AT3 Tactical on YouTube. But then we have Stinger USA. It's stingerusa.com. Um, yeah, any questions, send us a message, give us a call, shoot us an email. Um, I usually manage all the social messages, and then our support team, who knows a lot more than I do, they do all the emails and phone calls. So yeah, really, any way you want to get a hold of us, we're willing to chat with you.
All right, I will put those in the description.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, and then you got both of you guys have coupon codes, but Q,
yeah,
let's do yours. What is SCKUE10?
yep. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys use my coupon code on AT3, uh my promo code is SCKUE10. 10% off on your first purchase.
It making the coupon codes, I'm like, what do I prefix these with so I know what they're for instead of just Q10 or Atom 10? Like, what's that? I'm like, we could like uh it was shooting squad was like the first thing, like, I don't really want to prefix these with the SS. Like, let's do shooting crew. So that's how you can remember is shooting crew and then the name and then 10. So
nice.
yeah. But all right, boys. Anything else you got?
I got
I
nothing.
No, nothing.
I just got one more thing. Thank you guys very much. Q Adam, for having me on here, but then also like just helping, like wanting to see AT3 succeed. I really appreciate you guys and all of our other sponsored shooters that we work with. Like you guys are awesome. Thank you. Anyone that it, we don't have a sponsorship program that just doles out free product all the time, but if if you're trying to save some money shooting, shoot me a message, send us an email, let me know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. So,
No, and I will say again, I truly uh do appreciate, just because it's like I'm passionate about, shooting, training, getting better, whatever it is, and like truly appreciative of a company taking note of like local matches, you know, giveaways, all that kind of stuff. When I'm at matches and I see somebody who, maybe just started shooting this year or whatever, and they win glasses, they are, it's stoked. That definitely grows the support for competition shooting and just shooting in general, and yeah, so it's great to see, it's something I really appreciate. So
it's fun. I'm so happy I get the opportunity to do it. Like it, it's one of my top things at work that I enjoy doing. That's a pet project for me more than a business move. So a lot of companies that you see sponsoring matches, you can't judge the ROI from it. It's super hard unless there's like literally people coming in saying, I bought from you because of this. But really, it's just a passion project that we want to support the sport.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with Adam. All right, boys, that will be it. So, you guys have a good night. Charlie,
yeah,
appreciate
you
you
too.
uh on air talking with us. All right,
Anytime,
I'm gonna
anytime.
stop recording right now.